Welcome to the Character Sheet, comicbook.com's official home for all things fantasy and tabletop. Today, I am joined by not a special guest, but the special guest. I'm joined by one of my favorite people, the one, the only, Athena of AEW and Ring of Honor fame. Welcome to the channel.
That is me. You forgot a couple of things. Forever ROH champion, minion overlord,
Yep.
the real alpha, the fallen goddess, the inspiration to every women's division. Well, I feel like we should add some tabletop monikers to this eventually, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. You have a long reign to go. No one has come close to knocking you off of your. This is a record-setting Ring of Honor's women's title reign that you've got going. So, and in dominant fashion too, I might add. Before we get started, something I have never asked you. I don't have a minion number. I need a minion number.
Ooh. Okay. Normally we make people apply for these.
Okay, that's fair.
So I've known you for quite some time. We met at my very first Gen Con.
Yeah,
correct?
2019, I believe.
Okay. I'm thinking. I got some. I'm trying to think of like calculator math in my head too to see if there's any cool ones left over. All right, minion number 14.
I'll take it. Yeah, 14. That's high. That's a low number. That's good.
Low numbers are technically good.
Yeah. That gives me some bona fides. Speaking of bona fides, let's move on to why you're on the tabletop channel for comicbook.com, and that is a couple of months ago you had a bit of a viral moment. You had I'm blanking on what the pay-per-view was, but it was a Final Battle?
It was, I believe it was Super Card of Honor.
It was Super Card. It was Super Card of Honor. At Super Card of Honor, you came out dressed like Karlach from Baldur's Gate 3. And, now I was not surprised about that, but the tabletop folks on Twitter all lost their mind because Baldur's Gate 3 is like the most popular video game in the world right now, and you nailed it. And so I figured we'd talk a little bit about, Karlach, Baldur's Gate 3, your relationship to D&D, and a few things like that. So first and foremost, why Karlach? Why did you decide to do Karlach as your latest cosplay ring gear?
Honestly, playing the game several times, Karlach was my favorite character. She was one of the first NPCs that I found, and she was with me to the very end of the party, especially Barbarian Rage. I gave her the great sword that you get from beating the devil on the ship, which took me 20 tries, probably more than that, because we were playing 2-player as well. So my husband was like, look, you gotta draw some lines in the sand about this. This is the intro fight. I was like, we win at D&D. That's what we do. But anyway, just her from the beginning, her character, the engine storyline. I'll try not to give too many spoilers because I have played this game a lot. And I do think that if you're a strategist, if you like action RPGs, tabletop, this is the perfect game for you. It has a little bit of everything. And it has cats. And you have to talk to all the cats that you find. It's hilarious. But yeah, Karlach kind of just resonated like someone that was going through inner turmoil of knowing that, hey, I don't want to return to Avernus because I'm someone's pet creature. And then I actually made a D&D character kind of based off of this before Karlach became a thing. So I felt very in tune to this character and just nah, we're going to fight through it, soldier. From the last scene, which apparently I picked the worst ending. My husband got a really cool one with her where he's like, nah, Karlach, we're going off together. And I went, what is this? He showed me his ending and I had that everyone's at the party celebrating because I'm very lawful good when I play things. Shockingly, I know, because I'm chaotic neutral when I wrestle. But yeah, it's a fun time. And Karlach just she was really cool from the moment you meet her, from having to save her from Will, make that decision, which is weird because I ended up marrying Will in the game, not by anything on purpose, just kind of was like, why not? So yeah.
That I was going to ask who your romance option was in Baldur's Gate 3, so that took care of that question. That
Karlach was very like worried about living, and I heard that that's extremely hard to do. So my next playthrough, I'm going to try to nail that one. But I wanted to try to do Gale or Asterion because they seem like interesting characters. And then like my husband romanced both of them at one point in time, so I lost out on that opportunity. So then we were playing 2-player. I know that this sounds really weird as this is coming out of my mouth. We were playing together. There's a co-op mode, y'all. Okay. But yeah, like, so I was just like, I'll settle for this righteous, which he should be a paladin. It feels weird that he's like a warlock, but you know, it feels very weird that he's a warlock. But his whole story arc, which I actually have some artwork of him over there, it fell off the wall. That's the one that fell off the wall with him. And I want to call her a succubus, but the devil that he has promised his soul to, Menorah. I feel like that's wrong. But yeah, so I can talk about this all day. I feel like I'm nerding out too much.
So one of the things that we've talked about in the past, and something that I is somewhat known, but I don't think a lot of people know it, is you make your own costumes, and you're very intimately involved with it. So what went into the making of this costume? What did you do to prep for it? And it seemed like Wizards at least gave their thumbs up on this one as well.
Yeah, so it was actually like a really weird process because this is one of the first ones that I didn't get hands on until last minute. My gear designer, Tanya, who's absolutely phenomenal, actually came to me and she goes, "Hey girl, I started playing Baldur's Gate 3. I saw this Red Devil character. I want to make you these pants." And I go, "Okay, well," and this is in December or January, because I actually take quite a bit of time to plan. And I was like, no, let's make the outfit. And so we took about 3 to 4 weeks to try to figure out what materials would work best. Then at one time we were going to do a matte dragon scale, but it didn't stretch. So, and then I was like, yo, it'd be great is if like I mess with LEDs all the time, like having to talk her through the process of having to stitch on the LEDs. All right, hey, you have to use this. She's like, how about fishing wire? I'm like, yes. All right, fishing wire is this. And then I tried to build an axe. I tried to build an LED axe at home. Epic fail. Okay. I do not recommend you try it unless you have the most ginormous 3D printer. That was literal hell for 2 months of me trying to do this. And then it came down to me going, hey, could you guys just order me a battle axe so I could have one for the show? But around that time too, like I think February, we contacted Larian. Larian gave us a thumbs up immediately. We had to go through with Wizards, and Wizards gave us a thumbs up. So it was actually like really crazy how everything worked out. Like just all the stars aligned, and it was awesome. Spray paint was the hardest part because I am allergic to everything. I'm allergic to red dye. I'm allergic to just anything floral. So that was the hardest part, is trying to find the body paint because I couldn't use a traditional body paint, especially, which I was really hoping. I'm sorry to everyone that had to wrestle after me because all of it came off. I had to find like an aerosol hypoallergenic body paint. We had to do a test. In the first can I bought, I had an allergic reaction. So like, then we had to go back and do a separate one, and that one worked out. Then we did glitter on top to make it glow a little bit more. And then like all the props in the world to our production team and Mike Nansuri for like making my vision kind of come alive, with the pyro and the fire, and it worked out so well. And I'm just so happy that I had a really good team between AEW and Ring of Honor behind me to help make this work, including my girl Tanya, who very much so had to deal with my chaos of like calling her every 2 hours, be like, well, wait, did you finish this part? All right, so we're going to, because I can't sew. So a lot of my stuff is glue, or I hand stitch everything. You'll see me with like leather thread in the back. So yeah, but it's probably not what you were expecting but we made it work, and I think it turned out awesome. Like, I was really shocked at the response because I've done cosplays before. I tend not to do them too much. But for some reason, this one, I think because of my fandom of tabletop and Dungeons and Dragons and medieval fantasy, and just the combination of that and pro wrestling and having a platform to show how awesome the character was, it really turned out phenomenal.
I mean, I agree. And, and considering that, the weekend that was taking place, there were a ton of wrestling shows that were going on. And, your reveal was one of the standout moments of the entire weekend, which I think was incredibly impressive and fantastic. And, it was an awesome match too. It's you definitely kicked ass in the ring as well.
Thank you.
So, I did want to touch on one thing because you mentioned that you don't do like the cosplays. There are some wrestlers who, whenever there's a big show, they're going to show up and, have some sort of ring gear that's inspired by some character or whatnot. But you're a lot more selective. When do you decide to do it, and how do you decide what characters you want to do?
So I remember so it's weird, because we had tried to do several other DC stars before in the past. I'm not going to say who or what because I'm planning on trying to get that for later on. But it just didn't work out with our process of having to get things approved, or the outfit didn't come in time, so we had to cancel those. So I ended up doing an original concept of the fallen goddess in human form, which I got these massive angel wings that are currently living rent free in my garage right now. And that sadly malfunctioned because they were supposed to bleed. The hose, yeah. So you can see it in some of the fan clips at the very end. The hose broke right before the entrance. So I have just red paint down my back before I even wrestle. And I'm trying to I'm like, come on, anything, let's go, And so there's red paint, you knew everywhere I had been before my entrance because there's just, I think it was 12 gallons of red paint. And an awesome buddy of mine, Blake, actually ended up making those. But it's all about having a good team and collaboration. We did Bane right after that because I felt like the story of me and Billy worked out with it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think I had actually broken my nose a couple weeks before, which is messaging you, and I was like, hey man, are they gonna rip me a new one if I do the other Bane masks? I'm gonna have to wear this face guard, and I don't want to wear a mask on top of a mask. And then I wore a mask with a mask reveal, and everyone loved that. So it has to be the right time, the right place, the right story. I know that me and my little minion were working on a collective outfit that I don't think anyone would be prepared for. It is in pop culture, nerd culture. We're still trying to figure out how to do that at this moment. But yeah, I'm already in the works for the next one. I have the next two lined up actually. And then I have something with Billy just in case we get to do a tag match or something. But we might just wear that on TV because it's fun. But yeah.
So I haven't really gotten to talk to you, since you started working with Billy, to get to a wrestling question. What's it like working with Billy? Because she's 19 years old or something like that.
She makes you feel old. No. I love Billy. We actually talk every day. It's really weird because I am very selective on who I hang out with outside of work. It's just, I'm weird. I'm an introvert. I was that nerdy kid that got picked on all the time for reading Wolverine comic books and Batman comic books and playing video games. So that's my safe space. And I remember the moment me and Billy became friends was such a nerdy moment. And I feel like I sent her this article and I sent it to her by mistake, but I'll never tell her that, but she'll know now, about how the Pythagorean theorem had been found on manuscripts and tablets early in Babylon, hundreds of years earlier. And I was texting this to my husband, but some kind of way my phone was broken. And I go, whose theorem is it now? ... And she goes, I guess he's not Pythagoras. And I laughed so hard. And I was like, okay, me and Billy can be friends if that's the case. So we actually ended up bonding over like a stupid, and like a lot of you are like, wow, it might be too much nerd for me, right? Like, I get it. It's fine. But we made a math joke, and then like she would send me science memes, and then I'd send her like algebra stuff, and we just kind of clicked. And then like I found out that she actually likes video games, and then we took her on a tour to Nintendo, and so we ended up just becoming like sisters, like really from another mister. I mean, she keeps me sane. I keep her out of trouble, or I try to. It is very difficult. But like, honestly, she's become one of my best friends. She's like family to me right now. So like, I couldn't ask for a better person. And like, even though she's 19, she's super mature. She's extremely intelligent. She's actually going to college full time right now, on top of doing a full-time schedule with AWROH and also doing independent bookings and signings on the side as well. So I give her all the kudos in the world.
Wow. That's crazy. So before we jump into the time-honored tradition of the lightning round, I did have like one question, because we've talked about Dungeons and Dragons and its influence on your wrestling career before, and I wanted to ask, how has your current role as the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, how are you drawing it all from Dungeons and Dragons? We've talked about like the influence that Dritz has had and things like that.
To an extent, yeah, not so much with this character. I mean, like if you were going to associate it with anything, like back in the Homeland novel, shout out to R.A. Salvatore. I love the way the matron mothers operated. Like Bainry, Ubladra. Like I love their manipulation tactics. I like how from 1 minute they're like extremely sweet to like 180, like whipping someone with the snake-headed whip. Like it's all about manipulation and creating chaos within that manipulation. And I absolutely love it. I actually have it loaded up on my phone to listen to it again because I love the Homeland books. They're my favorite. They're my favorite like book series of all time. Even then, I named my cat Jarlaxle. I'm sorry, not Jarlaxle, Artemis Entreri, based off all the assassins in the later books. But like, I love the R.A. Salvatore Drizzt books. There's always so much inspiration to take from them in general. As far as like character creation, like how people interact, how you interact in certain situations, like and it's really fun. And I feel like it's evolved with the times of going through 2nd edition, 3rd edition. Yes, the dreaded 4th edition. We don't talk about 4th. And then on to 5th. And it's really cool how like the characters and the entire world has just evolved with the time.
And that covers, I was going to actually, talk about the cat, but you already got it out of the way. How long have you had the cat?
I've had him for a week. He's a Hellion. I've lost sleep because he is a Hellion. He doesn't want to sleep at all. He has his own room right now because we have 3 other cats. And one is kind of interested. One is like looking from afar, like, look, I just want to look at you. You stay over. No, why are you coming toward me? But he's already sneak attacked 2 of the cats, leaping off the couch. Like, the best thing I could tell you is it looks like a still shot from The Lion King as he's like, like, play with me, But he's so sweet, though. He's so sweet and loving, but he just wants to play 24/7 to the point where he doesn't want to sleep. He doesn't want to do anything but play.
Amazing. Remind me, I have a hilarious story to tell you off camera.
Awesome.
about my kid and the cat. And on that note, Pete, why don't you hop in here? We are going to test Athena's D&D and wrestling knowledge. She is a master of both, but is she a master of both together? Let's find out.
Okay.
Yep. Do a little lightning round, little quick game of D&D monster or wrestling finisher.
Okay.
I'm going to start out with Flail Snail.
That is a D&D monster.
That is a D&D monster. That is exactly what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. Cremation Lily.
I'm gonna say wrestling finisher.
It is. It is one of Zack Sabre Jr.'s like 4,000 submission finishers.
That's fair. I didn't think plants were gonna be in here, so it might be screwed.
Let's go with Burning Hammer.
That is a wrestling move.
It is a Kobashi finisher. Let's go with Emerald Flosion.
I'm gonna go wrestling move.
It is. That's Misawa's finisher, the classic. Let's go with how about the Brain Breaker?
The brain breaker. The only reason I'm gonna say this is a D&D monster is because it's Brain Buster.
Yeah, it is a Mind Flayer subtype in D&D. Let's go with the Death Kiss.
The Death Kiss, I feel like that's a spell in D&D, but it could be a wrestling move that involves like some sort of kiss with mist or something. I'm gonna go wrestling move.
It is a Beholder subtype in D&D that has mouth instead of eyes.
No! Also, I want to see that. No!
Oh, this is. I just put this one in there because it's my favorite one ever, and that is the moss-covered three-handled family Gredenza.
That feels like it's too long to be a wrestling move, so I'm gonna go D&D monster.
It's a wrestling move. Chris Jericho and Terry Saturn both, or Perry Saturn both used it. It's a weird fisherman suplex with a rotation.
What? No, we've updated the name of that now. Come on.
I mean, you gotta take it with Jericho next time you see him. All right, two more. Second and last one.
Okay.
The Muscular Bomb.
I am now second guessing myself in my knowledge because I've gotten all of these wrong. The Muscular Bomb.
Yes.
B-O-M-B.
B-O-M-B.
Some rapid fire this is. D&D monster?
It's the original name of Samoa Joe's finisher when he fell up with Doi.
Muscle Buster.
Yeah,
No,
Muscle Buster.
always been the Muscle Buster.
Right, but when he took the move, is it called the Muscle Buster because he took it from a New Japan star called Doi. Doi had the move, and it was called the Muscular Bomb from a really weird Japanese cartoon about wrestling that came out in like the 90s that I've just blanked. Super Muscle Man, I think is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one was the hardest one because it's very much a technicality.
Yeah.
And the last one is
Yeah.
the last one is the Clockwork Horror.
That is a D&D monster, right?
It is D&D Monster Contract. There you go. I mean, these were pretty rough, and I think you only missed 3, so that's
it's
still
not
a passing grade.
It's not a passing score though. It's not
All right,
perfect. We strive for perfection here at MIT. That is not perfection.
Yeah, I could have made one just of Zack Sabre Jr. finishers because he has 100 and they all have insane names.
Awesome.
Yeah, one's like you're having a very bad day now, but don't worry, it'll get better. It's like literally the name of one of his finishers.
What's the guy that sung that song? Was it James Arthur or something? Because you had a bad day.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's what he should just name it after that Arthur. I can't think of the guy's name, and I know I got it wrong.
Was that Ed Sheeran?
No, that wasn't. This is way before Ed Sheeran was a thing. This was
Daniel Powter.
That's it.
Would
So
never have
they played it on American Idol when people got kicked off. Like they were like, "Hey, you've been voted off," and they would play this song in the background, like, "Hey, this is supposed to cheer you up," and it's like, but once you listen to the lyrics, it's kind of really messed up. That was the kickoff song.
All right, I will let you finish it up, Christian.
Okay. Well, so thank you very much for being on the channel, Athena. People can find you every, over on Ring of Honor, which is streaming on Ring of Honor's website. And you should be, hopefully you'll be on TV soon. I know that that's one of Tony's big plans, and you need to be on TV like every week, in my humble opinion.
Oh, thank you. But I am on the app. You can watch me on watchroh.com, or you can get the Ring of Honor app. I'm also on social media right here. Oh, Oh, right there on all my socials. I am verified on both now. Woohoo! And Twitch. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Twitch, twitch.tv/halfdragonap. But most of all, you can find me on Ring of Honor and watch AEW TV live on TNT and TBS, so you know when your fallen goddess forever ROH champ and minion overlord appears.
Well, I can't think of a better way of ending it there. So once again, thank you for watching. And oh yeah, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.
I don't know where they are because I don't see them on this layout, but they're somewhere. Sometimes it comes on that side. You know, we'll figure it out. Just do the thing. Do it.